we'll do a little follow-up on the comedy festival we talked about last time, because they did all their stuff and they came back to defend themselves.
Yeah, that didn't go well, did it?
Nope. Which
And
I am just getting more and more disappointed by Bill Burr. Like, just say you went over there for the fucking money. Don't act like you're trying to change their culture through comedy, through the magic of comedy. Like fucking, what's that guy, Burnham?
Oh, Bo Burnham, yeah.
Bill Burnham. It's like changing the world with comedy.
Healing the world with comedy.
Yeah. Fucking, it's just sad. It's just sad, but
I can.
Once he doubled down the first time, I kind of knew where the shit was going. It's like I've had more time to think about that shit. I'm not happy with any of it. But again, to say I'm surprised that's why I don't know. It kind of goes hand in hand with celebrity and things like that. It's like, do you like Bill Burr, the person, or do you like Bill Burr, his comedy? You know what I mean? Am I an asshole if I separate the art from the artist? That seems to be something too. I still think to this day, Bill Burr is funny. Mm-hmm. I don't support anything he did with that Riyadh Comedy Festival. I don't support everything he said since then. He is definitely fucking up. You're fucking up. Dave Chappelle somewhere. Well, Dave Chappelle would tell me, but he was there too. So no, he ain't gonna tell me. I mean, you're fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's really hard. It's like, I even think about when his wife Nia was giving double birds to Trump at that MMA event. Did she not tell Bill, maybe don't go over there? Like, if you're willing to give the president of the United States of America the birds, like, which you have the freedom to do that shit, listen, you know what your husband's about to do, right? I mean, so now that makes her money grubbing too. I get, it's the same thing, but again, like, I'm not one of these people that this is my favorite actor because no, I like the shit he's in. You know what I mean? Like, I've been that way for a long time. I like Frank Zappa's music. I would never want to meet the man. He was an asshole. He was a womanizer. He treated certain people like shit, but his music's good. As far as I know, he didn't outright murder anybody or anything. There's stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, the more and more you look at anybody, everybody's a cocksucker, dude. Everybody. Like, especially anybody with a certain interest or a certain, again, going back to like the tax brackets. Mm-hmm. They've already sold out somewhere. You just didn't see it yet, and then until the big sellout happens, then people can start kind of, picking up the pieces, I guess. But again, like, Bill can't defend himself on this one. And like, to hear him, I unsubscribed from his podcast finally. I was like, I just can't. Once he went on that first thing about it where he was talking about, and they got a fucking Starbucks next to a Burger King. I was like, yeah. I saw that in Iraq, motherfucker, and still went outside the wire, got shot at. So I was like, what the fuck does that matter? You know what I mean?
It's like, they had hot chicks up front. I'm like, yeah, those are all the fucking people that run the goddamn regime.
Those are the concubines.
Yeah.
They all got fucking throat fucked right after that, probably.
Well, I mean, I could give fucking Pete Davidson some credit. He said he went there for the fucking money.
He 100% did. Like he said, they met a fucking number. I listened to that. I listened to that podcast today because I listened to Theo Vaughn's podcast when he has somebody interesting on there. But he's kind of starting to be somebody too. That fucking joke Mark Maron makes about he would have interviewed Hitler if Hitler was still alive. That shit is 150% true. Holy God, that's some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. But that was still but I like when comedians are talking to other comedians on podcasts. That's what that was to me for that one. But yeah, he straight up said that. He's like, they had a number. I like that number. I fucking went. So, but again, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that, Wes. Like, I'm almost tired of having to take a side and everything all the time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I just don't want to give a fuck. And I know that's what we're talking about stuff because that's the point of the podcast. And I'm not saying I don't want, it's just that sometimes these things, there's just so much of this. I don't know. What do you want to call it? What is the fucking word?
Culture war? I don't know.
Well, culture war is kind of part of it, but it's like an not upset. Oh my God, restlessness, like restlessness, or something close to that, where it's like, hey, did you hear this? How do you feel about that? And then now I'm put on the spot, and I'm talking more about like in just like regular life or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I work at a school, so I hear a lot of dumb shit coming out of some of them people's mouths too. But I also hear surprising things from some people too, you know. So but then it's like going back to, how should I feel that Pete Davidson's dad got killed by Saudis and then he's going over there to get some money? I made this point before. Maybe he fucking knows all that. In fact, I'm more than positive he knows all that shit. But it's like, maybe in his head, it's like, you know what? Maybe my dad would want me to make $1.5 million. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know.
That's on him.
And I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's on him.
choice.
So why am I supposed to hate or like, you know? At least he was honest, like you say. The Bill Burr thing is you said it best. That's disappointing as fuck. But I don't try to make a pickle of hating people, or, you know, it's the same time. It's like, if you don't get real close to these motherfuckers and hold them in super high regard in the first place, you won't be let down when shit like this happens, I guess is my point. So it's like, I think Bill Burr's funny, but I never ever once in my fucking life thought that he hasn't been a blue collar guy for 30 fucking years. He was on Chappelle's show in the early 2000s. He was in a fucking TV pilot with goddamn Molly Ringwald and that other bitch.
I just seen that
called Town
like
Townies.
6 months ago.
I remember seeing the commercials for that all the fucking time. I would have never knew he was in it, but it's like, the guy's been in the game. He's been on TV. So it's like I knew all that before all this shit. So sometimes when I'm hearing motherfucker talk about the shit he's bitching about, and like he bitches about the people he's got all these asshole drivers and shit. You live in California, Bill. You know, it's like sometimes you just kind of sound like you're your own fucking problem too. But I was saying shit like that 5 years ago when I started listening to his podcast. So it's like, again, if you could just, and I think, you know me, I'm a pretty good judge of fucking character. You can't be a really, really good judge of character when you don't physically know someone. You can't ever say, oh, well, I know the celebrity to a T. No, you're never. But you can pick up on fucking signals, and you can pick up on wavelengths, and what do they talk about all the time? What's their you know, shit like that. So whenever you kind of hear things like that out of certain people or whatever, you see things like that out of certain people, it's kind of just like, it's not really that surprising, you know? And maybe he really is so disillusioned that maybe he thought he was making a fucking difference. Maybe that is actually the case too, but he's also like got all this pressure on him to just say, yeah, I did it for the fucking money. I don't know. But again, I don't give a shit, because in the end of the day, he's a fucking comedian who's already had a shit ton of money. And if you want to call him a Saudi blood sucking dick sucker, go ahead. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not right or wrong or whatever. I'm just whatever. But I'm not going to take his word for shit. Like, you know, I'm not going to listen to his blue collar rants any fucking more, you know, because it's like you hear, you know, you see all the other people that was on that dossier, that all kind of lines up really. The ones that got the most shit was like Bill Burr and Pete Davidson and who else. But I would have thought, you know, like, you know, and he was making fun of Jessica Kirsten too, you know, because she's a Jewish lady, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, is she a sellout, or was she going over there to prove a point? Or, you know, I don't know. Maybe she was going over there to prove a point, and the money was. So it's like, can we only say they did it for the money? I mean, Bill Burr probably did, but some of these other ones didn't get paid the same amount of money. Some of them got paid way less. It's not to say they didn't make, every single person on this comedy tour made more than they would have doing the Comedy Store or some tour. You know what I mean? I get that. But I don't know. People like money, dude. And we're in this way. It's almost like the fucking, the goddamn, the excess sequels, the sequel to the 80s. You know what I mean? The world of excess. You see that? You see what I'm saying? Like, everything is just blown out so much more now. It's just the age of excess once again.
Well,
you know, Gene Simmons gets in a car wreck and he fucking lives.
Well,
Not that I wanted him to die, but it's just like, he's probably got, how many, that guy has made a living of fucking, in fact, here's what I would like to know. How many people that are bagging on Bill Burr doing what he did are still Kiss fans? Bet you a lot of them.
yeah.
It's like all Kiss has done their whole life is made a living of selling the fuck out. I mean, they write "sell out" on their T-shirts, but you'll defend them, I bet. And then as soon as you hear, "Oh, Bill Burr," is like, they got ties to Israel. Gene Simmons, right? You know what I mean? It's like, so if you win again, let's get political. I don't know. It's just, it seems like it's also kind of a, look at this thing. Let's get angry about this thing. And then that way we can forget about this shit going on over here or whatever, It's all almost like gas. I have to get on the internet and I have to be told how to feel. I have to sift through all that shit. And then everything else is just getting gaslit into believing other shit. And then when I try to fucking say I have an opinion about some shit, I'm a fucking asshole, even when I'm just trying to come at what I know, you know what I mean? Instead of pretending I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill Burr, he's
I'm
like
getting
all
beside
these
myself.
all these sanctimonious cunts out there who don't really sincerely give a shit. If you actually give a fuck about those people, how they're living over there, there's gonna have to be these type of things to pull them in. And I will tell you, the Cheesecake Factory in Riyadh, it's incredible. It's right next to Pizza Hut and KFC. If you want a pair of Timberlands, it's across the street next to Marriott. Wow, capitalism, love it. Wow, you can buy shit. You can buy nice shit there. So I don't know. It's just so.
But again, he hasn't struggled for fucking years. I mean, Bill Burr hasn't struggled since the Philly rant. That was in 2006. I mean, I've been watching his. I think the first actual stand-up special of his I watched was in 2008. That's almost 20 years ago. He's doing fine. So that's another thing too. It's like these guys aren't going home to like a 1-bedroom apartment in some slum. They've already lived their life this way, so for them to take the buck really shouldn't be surprising. It's surprising for Bill Burr, but again, don't set yourself up for failure, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm an asshole for that, but I've said this shit for years. I've told my wife stuff like this for years, like, these motherfuckers are gonna let you down if you follow too much into them, you know what I mean? And then lo and behold, so it's like, okay, it's Bill Burr's comedy special out. Good. Was it funny? Good. I like Mark Maron's stand up. I like his outlook on shit. I don't care about wanting to hang out with Mark Maron though, because guess what? That guy could end up being a pedophile, fucking racist bunny stabber too. I don't know, but I'm gonna
Don't put him on a pedestal.
It's easy for him. Yeah, it's easy for him to stand on the pedestal and point the fingers and shit too, and stuff like that. And and that's another thing too. I like Shane Gillis. I think his comedy's funny, and people were giving him flowers because he didn't go over there and stuff. But I mean, it's like his star is still rising. He's not going to fuck anything up right now while it's still going on. That guy could still go to Riyadh Part 2, motherfucker. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not think that it could be, I don't know.
All right, get off Saudi Arabia.
I spiral out a lot on that shit, but it's like I get at odds with myself, and then I think it's like, have I even thought about this enough? Is it even worth thinking that much importance about it? And plus, we've already talked about it, and most of the shit that I've heard, like people just keep hitting on the same beats about the shit anyway. It's like, yeah, Bill Burr fucked up. Yeah, he's still fucking up. Yeah, he doubled down. Yeah, he's never going to admit fault. And then okay, let's say he does. If he does, is that going to be enough? Are we all just going to forgive him now? No, the next article, Bill Burr finally caved, and then we're still going to hate him. So it's like, yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? It's like, the damage is already fucking done. You know what I mean? Like, so, and not many people talk about like, I guess people weren't surprised that Dave Chappelle went there. That kind of still surprises me a little bit, but it doesn't. And I'm not going to talk too much more about this shit because I'm already over it. But I would say this. If people are afraid that comedy is ruined, go find some shit. There's a lot of good comedy out there. a lot of people bag on Kill Tony. Some of the comedians that go on Kill Tony are not part of that fucking crowd. And when you go and you watch their stand up that's just by themselves, it's fucking great. So that's something to there'll be a lot of times on like Reddit, certain comedians will just post to like r/funny. They'll just post some of their own stand up. I've found pretty decent comedians just doing that. Like, so that's kind of another thing I was thinking too, maybe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, I think people feel like there's this whole thing with comedies has just been getting really bad. Comedy was fucking great for like the big comedy boom was happening for like the last 10, 15 years. Comedy has never, ever gone away, but it goes through ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys like everything else. And we've been in this big fucking peak for a long time. And then and then when Joe Rogan did his Austin Exodus, and then now there's all this hate on the Austin comedy scene and all this. So you got that going on, and then the Riyadh comedy shit and some of this other stuff. I think a lot of people are just scared that comedy all around is bad, or that, but that's not true. There's still funny fucking shit out there. Go find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same with music. It's the same with video games or anything else. We don't have to sit here and worry. My life doesn't fucking revolve around the fact that Bill Burr took an easy paycheck. It revolves more around how can I get by as a person. And I don't say that as I say that more as like some of the things we worry about as a society are fucking dumb.
Yeah, they are.
And I know we're talking about it because it's a big news thing. So and I'm not saying I'm going to sound like probably a fucking hypocrite, but it's like we're talking about it because everybody else is. But was it even ever worth talking about in the first place, I guess is what I should say. And I don't really feel like it was. I feel like I think the more thing is like, why the fuck? I mean, why the fuck would you even? I don't know, man. I keep
You're
trying.
Exasperated.
I really am, because I don't want to make excuses for these people. I don't want to make excuses for anybody, but it's like, it's just, I think more about, we all knew Saudi Arabia was bad, I guess, or something, and then they're going over there and accepting these big payouts, so that makes them implicit. But how many other people on earth have taken Saudi's been buying shit up from America forever, so now they're buying comedy. How dare they, I guess. I'm gonna shut the fuck up about it now. I'm gonna smoke this weed. I think I need a